is Paul with LSP Leads, where we focus on smart roofing and lead generation. Again, our slogan is that we don't generate leads. We identify homeowners who already need a roof or any kind of repair, right? So before I jump into the case study or observations for Miami, Florida, I wanted to sort of quickly highlight how does our service work, because we've seen past patterns and we tailor it very specific to a city that we're trying to provide you leads with, right? So that way you end up with something like this that is actionable, and there is an incentive for the homeowner to want to replace a roof. So again, we looked at permit data, historical permit data, property characteristics from our real estate LSP data service, and additionally code violation and a few other things that allowed us to come up with a report that I'm going to show you here shortly. And again, because of our data, we looked into violation data, complaint data, and then permit information, right? And we kind of crossed all of them together to identify those patterns and trends, which is what I'm going to show you here in a second. So again, for us, we realized there's a couple of things with Miami. As if you watch the other videos from Tampa or St. Petersburg, right, there's different sort of motivating factors of why a homeowner may decide to get the roof replaced, right? So in this case, with Miami, there's a high correlation for violations, right? So a lot of them, they have violations, and there's also pressure to address them. So for example, if we looked at Miami-Dade violations, right, you may end up with a lien on your property, or there's daily fines such as $1,000 per day, right? And it depends on, it could also be foreclosed. It's in the most extreme cases. But again, the other things I wanted to show you as well is because we've been focusing on real estate for a couple of years, so we can also tell when a lot of these properties are investors based, right? And what I can tell you is that a lot of the violations come from complaints. So think of a tenant who's not happy, or maybe there's leaks, the roof is caving in, maybe there's also mold, right? So there's different aspects in how we're capturing this, right? So this kind of makes sense because a lot of also the properties are being rented, right? So if the homeowner doesn't want to repair them, right, then there's enough pressure that they turn into violations, and then they end up getting fined. But anyways, moving on. Some of this may be of interest to you as well, like the historically has been asphalt shingles. There's also high income zip codes as well that have, higher tiers of wanting maybe tile roof installations, right? So depending on the area or depending on the property, on the income, medium income, or on the property value, right, you may want to pitch them a little bit higher quality or tile roofs, right? Another observation as well is that as compared to Tampa, where a lot of the roofing were from 1990 onwards, right? This one's interesting because most of them, you can start marketing to a lot of them after 1965 on the year built, which is, again, that's the beauty of using data and not just being very generic with a generic weather app and that sort of thing, right? Again, it's just pretty good insight. So take a minute to pause the video and capture some of this. So maybe if you're a salesperson or if you have a roofing company, you can leverage this insight if you're in Miami area, right? So again, for us, a lot of it deals from violations, right? A lot of them too, construction without a permit. So maybe landlords or someone's trying to be a bit cheap, right, and not go through the proper process of getting a permit in the in the city as well. So, and then again, there's a lot of things that may flag that may lead to the property needing a roof repair. Here's another gem, I think, that you can focus on, right? And the type of roofing that you can provide. Again, like I mentioned in the past, the median income information is gold, right? Again, in the past, we all think that because there's a storm, there's violations, there's a likelihood or there's an incentive for the homeowner to want to replace the roof, but that's not always the case, right? So for us, again, we started focusing a bit on can the person afford the jobs, right? And whether it's insurance or not, this has been good insights for us. Again, a lot of it is not if you're doing mailers or if you're doing cold calling and doing skip tracing, right? Don't miss out on the absentee owners, because a lot of them, again, it's renters, right? And yeah, again, we do a combination of roofing age, violation history, and ownership as well, with median income. That way we can better generate leads for you, right? One thing I wanted to show you as well is as a marketing kind of point of view, right? You can go 15, 20 years for specific roof repairs as well. Again, this kind of is consistent with other kind of data points that we see in other cities, where depending on the type of roof, depending on the type of cyclical weather, 15 to 20 years is a pretty good rule to pitch a new roof as well. So again, you don't need an active code violation ones just to target those, because those tend to be smaller. But if you want to have a marketing strategy where you target the ones from today, those 3 to 5 leads that we talked about, and maybe your pipeline, you also include those that are coming to 15 to that 20 year mark, right? And if you add on top of that cyclical events as well, that may help you out. Yeah, there's also, insurance partnerships, or if you are close to any real estate agents as well, that helps quite a bit. And the other thing I wanted to show you as well is some of the top zip codes. And again, this is gems for you, right? Take a screenshot if you want to sort of target some of those zip codes, specifically with the property market values and that sort of thing. So again, I'll leave it at that for now. Again, this is how our platform looks like, right? Again, we are expanding and we want to cover most of Florida, Texas, Georgia, everywhere, right? So if you have any questions, let us know. This is how the property would look like. If you've seen other videos, I kind of show a couple of demos there, right? And some of them you can see that perhaps, depending on the kind of roof that they have, right? Some of them you can clearly see there's aged roofs as well, right? And yeah, it's always really nice when we are able to validate our data, right? And again, the intent is for you to, if you have your door knockers or anyone else, right, to be able to focus on specific areas, and that way you save yourself time and money. And obviously, you know that there's a level of motivation there with this, right? So in the future, we'll make this available, the platform. But for now, I wanted to give you a demo. So if you're interested in jumping on a Zoom demo call, right, or even getting access to some of those inside reports, I'll start including them as a Word document. So that way you get really good insights into this data, right? To make it a little bit easy for you to ingest that if you're a roofing company. Again, for us, we don't generate leads. We identify homeowners who have a need for this repairs. And yeah, thank you for watching again.